I'm going to read 3 poems, and the first is going to be from a book, not this one, but another one that I have, and my friend Robert Spellman painted the apple on there, which I'm so proud of. I think it's so gorgeous. So this poem is called Tennessee Jukebox. At the lunch counter in the Retro Diner, I punch E3, J2, K6, and order a hamburger, shake, and fries. They're almost as good as those first ones after 3 years overseas, when we crossed the country on 2-lane blacktop and pulled into gravel parking lots under neon eats. 2 stools down, an older man calls the waitress over, says his coffee's kindly cold. I don't hear the rest. That intensifier jars loose something lost for years. Kindly aggravated instead of pissed off or wicked mad. Good old boys, young or old, trusted and kindly close, who felt free to drop in at supper time for soup, beans, and cornbread at the kitchen table. Where kindly slow meant that the child in the adult's body who mowed your lawn was to be spoken to with a gentle firmness, and kindly feeble was soon to die. I start up a conversation with the man just to listen to that old music, then name my mother's small town. Well, I was born and raised not 75 miles from there. Before I can shake the drawl from my voice, it marks me. Yes, I kindly figured that. This next poem, like Jan's, was published by Phil and Marcia, so thank you for that. And it has an epigraph, which is with apologies to Guy Deutscher. And Guy Deutscher is a linguist who wrote a book I fell in love with. So I tracked him down, and he said he received a lot of questions, comments, and objections to books he wrote, but never imagined he'd inspire a poem. And he thanked me for it. So I'm officially licensed to twist his ideas into this. It's called Love in Another Tongue. His poem spoke a forest of words, of dark-toed trees, where nouns flicker like fireflies and verbs shriek bat-like between the white space meadows. If asked, he'd say he was drawn to nature as a mode of expressing love. And who can argue whether hoarfrost heckles? After all, thrilled comes from pierced, as surely as arrows find their mark, and sarcastic too, from cutting into flesh, tearing skin, grinding the arcs, the pelvic arches of ancestral language. He wrung words into crinkled flowers, into irregular hell-bent buds. It's all body. The stones of love, bones becoming trumpets or flutes, moonlit coins, erotic as ingots in vaulted rooms built from God loves you figurines, and of course, the swimming pool's indigenous blondes. Her poems wanted to speak only in vowels, ah, eh, oh, ah, before slipping underwater to cavort with consonants in non-skid aqua socks. That's not to say she hadn't known derivations of minx or vixen, the connotations of foxes, the wreaked affinities in skink, skank, skunk, the rogue animal-vegetable music mesh of skanking on a balcony, veranda, portico, lanai, porch, or stoop. Still, love worried her ear. Yeses, elusive as elixirs, lurked like dawn behind the mountains over her black water lakes. I write about that, she said, when asked, and the way in dreams wishes rushed down the blue rivers of my arms, into the blue washes of my hands, to bleach like minnows in the sun. But well-behaved cases had already started to rot, Little by little, mouths lost ablatives, grew sore in love's datives. Her, him, you gave to hither, whither, nothing whatsoever, not a whit, heareth me, beeth you, catapulted then, ignited, erratic, accusative. I love you. Yes, loveth you I, it's heaven sent. Moved to the nominative. You love me? You say you love me. And finally, genitive. Was it mine, your love? But in all its cases, your love is breadcrumbs, fishbone, pea pod. As the linguist explains, consider what happened to the phrase Persian apple, with its 5 juicy vowels and 7 luscious consonants, only to end up as a rather shriveled peach. So when I was 7, 8, 9 years old, my family lived in Japan, and since TV was sumo wrestling and dubbed American shows, I spent my allowance on way too many comic books and base movies. So this is called Blood Brothers. Every Saturday at the matinee, a lone man took action, saved a town or wagon train, then rode away into next week's episode. He outdrew, outshot, or outsmarted outlaws, gunslingers, cattle thieves, and crooks. With few words, he dealt justice to a corrupt sheriff, a greedy rancher, put backbone into the drunken judge or a cowardly dry goods merchant, and became blood brother to an Apache chief. His horse understood him best. But women always cried, even the tough ones in the saloon. The weaker sex got all weepy when captured, and again when rescued, or were sure to take some notion that the cowboy was more than just friends, and then be all misty-eyed when he left. We knew tears sapped strength. They were bad water, like the salty spring the cowboy warned against. Give in just once, and you were doomed. Lizzie and I made our pact, took the sharpest knife from the kitchen drawer, decided our knees would be best since they were the most used to bleeding. We couldn't make the determined slice we'd seen on screen, so scraped a little at a time, fuzzy white to naked pink, until the skin was raw and seeping. We pressed knee to knee, repeated solemn words we'd heard cowboys use, and then the secret ones they didn't say out loud. We'll never cry, no matter what. We wiped the knife, hid the red Kleenex in the bottom of the trash, and went outside to wait for Mama to come back and drive us, out to the stables for the riding lesson we'd won at the matinee. Like finding sweet water, I imagine a pinto for you and a grave for me. Thank you so much for listening. And I just want to say, these poets, I'm just so pleased to be a part of them and a part of this book. And now